Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Number 9, man, I'm gonna be ready and hype. Let's just gonna be hype. My battle gonna be up right next to my brothers, Zebo, Big Spain. It's a great feeling, man. Never imagined this. I didn't think this would ever be a thing, and it's one of the biggest days of my life. I'm looking forward to it.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle is right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready to see a 3-game winning streak become a 4-game winning streak, because that's what I'm expecting tonight in FedEx Forum. The 50-loss Jazz are in town. They're 12.5-point underdogs. If you have to call 12 when you're a 12.5-point favorite, something has gone wrong. Ja, put your phone on silence. Keep it near you just in case. But my hope is that we don't have to call you tonight. You deserve that. We'll get you ready for Jazz Grizz momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Chris Vernon is going to join me. He, of course, is the host of the Chris Vernon Show. Weekdays, noon, Grind City Media. I'll talk Grizz with him. All things NBA with him. Vernon here in about 20. When I finish talking to him, we'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, West Virginia coach Rich Rodriguez decided to remind everybody he's in his 60s by banning his players from dancing on TikTok. We'll show you the video. We'll let him embarrass himself with his own words. We'll do that in about 40 minutes. Tiger Woods had surgery Tuesday to repair a torn Achilles, so we won't see him play golf for a while. I'll give you the details a little later on in the show. Shohei Ohtani about to be the first MLB player to do what? I'll ask Bennett that question. Okay. We'll see if he can get it. We'll do that in just a bit. John Calipari, Hubert Davis, Rodney Terry, among those who are coaching in games today where if they don't win them, they're probably missing the NCAA tournament. March can get stressful sometimes when you're living on the bubble. We'll talk about that. We'll do it in the second hour. And Disney is scaling back its premiere of Snow White because of a controversy connected to the actresses. Juicy stuff. I'll let Bennett tell us what's going on. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 66 of a scheduled 82 is going to be played tonight in downtown Memphis. The 50-loss Grizzlies-Jazz are in town. They're doing their best to bring Cooper Flagg to Salt Lake City. Tip is scheduled for 7 o'clock. Tickets available, Grizzlies.com, and you can watch it on Action News 5 here in Memphis. What up, Channel 5?
I love it.
What up, Channel 5? Let's get it. What up, Channel 5?
That's fun.
This is the first of 5 games that are going to be available over the air here in Memphis. You can watch it on Action News 5. If you're in Nashville, what up, Nashville? You can watch it on WSMV4, the NBC affiliate in the home of the Tennessee Titans. And then in Knoxville, you can watch it on WBXX Channel 20. What up, Knoxville? Channel 20. That's the CW affiliate there in the home of the Vols. No subscriptions required. That's a nice deal, isn't it, Bennett? It's nice to have Grizzlies games over the air, don't you think?
It is really cool. Like as somebody that's a Titans fan, okay, that one of the things that I like is that I'm able to watch them every week without having to pay for anything because they're like they're the local team, right? And so that's cool, man. I love the fact that people are going to be able to watch the Grizzlies on Channel 5, like you said, and I don't know, it's really cool that people are going to have access to this.
I think it is very easy for, let's just say, I won't rope you into it, but let's just say people like me to be like, have you watched that thing? And somebody says, I don't know, I don't think I have. And they're like, what's it on? And I'm like, it's on Apple TV Plus.
I don't have that.
And I'm like, well, okay. Like, what about the thing on Hulu? Oh, it's on Hulu. Yeah, I don't have that. What about the Grizz game? It was on FanDuel Sports Network. Well, we don't subscribe to that. It's very easy for somebody like me to just be like, well, I'm subscribed to everything, and I have access to everything. So if there's literally anything in the world that I want to watch, I just turn it on. There's nothing stopping me. All right? That's the way I live my life, fortunately, or stupidly, one of the two. Not everybody does that. And there are people who would otherwise watch Grizzlies games in this market. Lots of them. But it's just not available to them. This is not the wealthiest city in the world. And so this matters. Tonight's game will be available to a lot of people who otherwise would have no practical way to watch it. I like that.
Yeah.
Who knows where it goes from here? Obviously, not for me to say.
Right.
But I like that this is happening.
I do too.
The best way to get more people to consume any product is to put it right in front of them. There will be folks tonight who don't have 7,000 DirecTV channels. They just flip through a few. And if they're going to watch television tonight, it's just like, what's on this channel, or this channel, or this channel, or this channel? Well, on this channel tonight, one that is available over the air throughout the city, same type of deal in Knoxville, same type of deal in Nashville. There will be people who will be able to consume a Grizzlies game who otherwise wouldn't. And otherwise, you ready for this? Might not even know it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, like, how did you become a Mets fan, right? Like, it
is very similar. It was available to me.
Yeah.
That's a great point that I had not put together.
Like, how did I become a Titans fan? It was just on my TV. Yeah.
I get asked all the time, obviously, how did you become a Mets fan growing up in North Mississippi? And the actual answer is there's a lot of different things, timing being part of it, but there's a lot of different things. But it being available to me to watch was maybe the biggest. Here's the truth when I became a Mets fan. It was the early 80s. I was a young baseball player, and I loved baseball. I wasn't the best at it, but I really loved playing. And I loved watching it, and I loved collecting cards, all of it. I was in all of it. At the time, there was no such thing as the MLB subscription, and cable TV was sort of in its infancy. We had cable TV, but, it wasn't a lot of cable. It wasn't a lot, but we had something. And they had these things that were more or less superstations. So there was these channels that were rooted in a city, but they were available nationwide through cable. One of them was WGN, rooted in Chicago, but everybody had that channel everywhere. And if you ever want to understand how there's a nation full of Cubs fans, it is because for years, the Cubs played more or less on national television in a way that nobody else did, or very few others did. and they played during the day because there was no lights at Wrigley. So every day during the summer, when kids are at home, if there was a baseball game on TV, it was the Cubs at Wrigley. We all grew up watching Cubs games during the day because if you wanted to watch baseball, that was what was on. So WGN had the Cubs, and that's why there's a nation filled with Cubs fans. It's not because everybody likes the blue hats. It's because a generation of people my age grew up watching the Cubs on summer days for years and years and years. TBS had the Atlanta Braves. And WWR had the New York Mets. So it starts there. There's 3 teams, more or less, when I was young that you could watch in this market. It was not the St. Louis Cardinals. It was not the New York Yankees. It was not the Los Angeles Dodgers. Basically 3 teams available to you regularly on television if you wanted to watch baseball. The Cubs, the Braves, and the Mets. It felt like everybody was Cubs fans for the reasons I've already explained. The Braves were dreadful. They had Dale Murphy, but they were terrible. And the Mets had a Double-A affiliate. Do you know where it was? Jackson, Mississippi. I can remember going to a soccer tournament. I have this memory. We were playing a soccer tournament in Jackson, Mississippi, and we were checking into a hotel, and I saw Roger McDowell, the former Met.
Oh, wow.
And it was like he was down there getting some work, something like that. I just have that memory. So the Double-A team was in Jackson, Mississippi. That was helpful. And then here's the truth. They had these young stars coming up. Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden. And so the Double-A affiliate is in Jackson, so I could always say things like, yeah, I'm from Mississippi, and they played in Mississippi. You know, you could always say stuff like that. And then they were about to be good, felt like. And they had the young, cool players, Doc and Darryl. That was cool. And then they were just on TV, and I could watch them. And here I am, 40 years later, you know, like still wearing the same shirts and hats that I was wearing 40 years ago. But part of it is absolutely because it was available to me on television. You ready for this? If it weren't, what am I today? Probably not even a baseball fan. I might watch the World Series if it was compelling. I don't even know if now I spend every day of the summer watching baseball games. And it's because I became a Mets fan very early because it was available to me, because I could watch it. Tonight's game will be available for people throughout the state who otherwise wouldn't be able to watch it. That's important. That's important. Again, we'll see what it leads to, but this is the first of 5. And hopefully when the numbers come back in for it, it'll be undeniable that there are more eyeballs on this than there otherwise would have been. It's a big night for the franchise.
Yep.
Grizzlies are 12.5-point favorites over the 50-loss Jazz. Like I said, they doing everything they can do to bring Cooper Flagg to Salt Lake City.
Literally them and,
the Washington.
And the Hornets. Those are the 3 that are like, do not want to win a game.
There ain't nobody Salt Lake City's ever wanted more than Cooper Flagg.
That's setting up great for them. That's setting up so good for them.
It's
a dream scenario.
It's a dream come true.
It's a dream scenario.
It's a dream scenario that could come true. Trivia time real quick.
Okay.
Because this came up in the studio the other night, and I didn't know the answer, so don't be embarrassed if you don't know the answer. Cooper Flagg is probably about to be the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft.
Okay.
He is an American player. He is also Caucasian.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Who's the last white American to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft?
The last white American to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft was, I'm just trying to think of like the great white players in this league. Are they in the league right now? No, they're not. They are not, are they?
You ready for this? They're not alive right now.
Yeah, okay. Damn. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, dude, when you get I'm trying to think back, yeah, I don't know.
Bill Walton, 1974.
Oh, I could have gotten that.
Bill Walton.
Bill Walton was amazing coming out of college. That I could have gotten that.
Bill Walton,
I
1974.
should have thought about that a little bit harder.
In your lifetime, and even mine, there has never been a white American drafted number 1 in the NBA.
Cooper Flagg is changing. He's making history.
He's making history.
That is pretty unbelievable. He's gonna for sure be the number 1 pick.
I wouldn't say for sure.
Not for sure. Okay.
I would
it's not a
say
guarantee right now.
It's not a guarantee, but
Okay.
I would bet that he will be.
Yeah, I got you.
But could another franchise fall in love with a Ace Bailey or a Dylan Harper? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could happen.
I love
but
that,
I don't expect it.
You know, we're getting the whole he might return to Duke. You've seen that. Stop.
No.
It doesn't matter what the situation is. You can't, that kind of money, the number 1 overall pick, you can't mess that up. You can't mess with that.
I've been asked about it a few different times.
Yeah.
Obviously. Here's the truth. I don't doubt his sincerity.
Right.
When he says, I would like to return to Duke, I want to return to Duke, I'm having a blast, I don't want to leave here.
Instead of being a wizard.
I believe all of that's true.
Right.
I believe he's telling the truth. It's just at some point, it doesn't matter
Right.
how you feel. I don't want to say it doesn't matter how you feel. He can do whatever he wants. But
Yeah,
there are going to be a team of people in suits with spreadsheets who are explaining to him the importance of getting your NBA clock started now. You hit free agency a year earlier. You eliminate all of the risk involved with returning to school. Like, you might be a better player a year from now, but you will still only be drafted number 1. There is nowhere to go once you're number 1. This is as good as it ever gets for you. And I understand you really love college. Come back whenever you want.
Yeah.
But you got to go. And that's the way.
Yeah.
That's the way that'll go down. And the Jazz are doing everything they can do to try to make sure he calls Salt Lake City home.
Yes.
12.5-point favorite tonight.
Uh-huh.
You know how much I like to call 12. You know how appreciative I am that he answers all the time.
Of course. Goes without saying.
It's nice to have a friend like that. We all need one sometime. You're lucky if you have one. You're incredibly lucky if you have more than one. But everybody needs one.
Yep.
Somebody that, hey, I didn't know I was going to need him tonight. But I do. And I'm going to call. And they'll answer every time. No matter what they're doing, no matter how they're feeling. You call, they're going to pick up. I'm here. What do you need? Oh, that again? Save the day again? All right. I'll be there. Then he shows up. I like that we have that. I appreciate that. I hope to one day be that reliable for my friends. But you should not have to call 12 when you're a 12.5-point favorite.
I would love a scenario where I'm looking up in the 4th quarter tonight and he's not even playing because they're up 30.
And he's thrown his phone to his daughter.
Right.
She's over there playing Roblox on his phone.
Right.
He doesn't even need his phone. And you want to know why? Because he knows nobody's calling tonight.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessary to make a phone call. No phone calls. No calling 12 tonight. All right? You're a 12.5-point favorite. Act like it.
The thing is, though,
Give Ja a night off. It's exhausting to have to. It's awesome that he picks up every time, but you shouldn't have to call him against the 50-loss Jazz. Give him a night off. Let him rest his phone. Let him get his minutes per day down. Let him get his screen time down. All right?
Yeah.
Let him sit over there and watch the 4th quarter with his daughter has his phone. She's playing Roblox. He doesn't need it.
I will say, I wish that they were coming in on a 3-game losing. So they're on a 6-game losing streak. It really should be 9. They beat the Timberwolves by 1.
They're committed to the cause.
I'm a little.
They're committed to the cause. They want Cooper Flagg in Salt Lake City.
It just makes me a little nervous, dude. You know how this goes. Like these tanking teams, every now and again, they never lose like 15 in a row, right?
Well,
they always lose like 6 in a row, then get a win. Then they lose 5 in a row and get a win.
If they want to break their losing streak, it's fine with me, but not tonight.
Please, not tonight.
Not tonight.
Right.
If you want to break your losing streak, Utah Jazz, it's fine with me, but not tonight.
Yeah.
And as far as the Grizzlies, be thankful that you have somebody you can call in a time of need. All right? That's not something everybody in this world has. Be appreciative. Don't take it for granted. Mm-hmm. But also don't exploit it. Also, don't take advantage of it. Just because you can call 12 and he'll always answer doesn't mean you should be calling 12 every night. And you should never have to call 12 at home while on a 3-game winning streak as a 12.5-point favorite against a 50-loss Jazz team that is more interested in Cooper Flagg than it is getting a win on a Wednesday night in Memphis. That's all right.
That's all right.
Leave Ja alone. No phone calls tonight. Chris Vernon's up next. I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock.
They knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by WWE.
And then the kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Show presented by Ortho South. We have a correction to make. The chat is correction, specifically Daniel Bennett. We got a correction to make. I've misled the community. I've misled the Grind City Media community. I trivia timed you. Who was the last white American to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft? You didn't know. I told you it was Bill Walton, 1974. Because that is the conversation that we had in the broadcast center the other night. And the back row, which is the research department, they're the ones who gave me that answer. So blame the CBS Sports Network research department. The correct answer is, as Daniel points out, Kent Benson, 1977.
Oh, of course, Kent Benson. Who could forget?
Kent Benson, a white American, was drafted number 1 in 1977. Hadn't happened since then. Cooper Flagg might change it. Hey, Chris Vernon, what's up with you?
Man, you misleading the public. That's crazy. And so what did CBS finally tell you? Like, yo, man, we can't take this, like, you can't breathe, you can't talk thing no more. Just stay in Memphis for a week. Because you're never here. This is the first time I've been sitting in this seat in forever.
It's conference championship week, so my schedule, Monday gets slow, Tuesday gets slow. So when I came home last Thursday per normal, I would normally go back on Monday, but I've been home extended time, so I go today.
Okay.
And then I'll be in studio Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Selection Sunday.
Okay.
And that'll be the schedule the rest of the season. Come home Monday, go back Wednesday. Come home Monday, go back Wednesday.
So usually my mode of operation is on Sundays. I'll watch the Selection Sunday thing on CBS or whatever, and then I'll watch all those recap shows, and you guys are on it usually pretty late. And bring on a bunch of coaches, and then you guys will be on and then they'll replay it after you guys are off. Do you know who you're on with?
everybody. I mean, the whole.
No. Like, who is it? Is it? I guess it's Brent.
Yeah, it'll be like everybody will be in studio.
Because Zucker's going to have to do
the big show.
CBS now, right? Because
he actually did it last year too.
Oh, that's right.
Because Greg was sick.
That's right.
But we didn't know how sick.
Yeah, right.
And like hand to heart, even people. I worked with Greg a few times. Like there's levels to CBS Sports,
Sure.
and he's at one, and I'm not there. But I worked with him a few times, and we were friendly, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
But I wasn't close with him. Mm-hmm. Even the people who were close with him at CBS
didn't know he was as bad off as he was. That's sad.
Yeah, like it was not clear to me 3 months ago that he wouldn't be back for Selection Sunday this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super sad. Yeah, but I guess so. You'll be doing that
yeah,
same
so
show.
Adam Zucker will be there with Jay Wright and Clark Kellogg and that whole crew. We'll be the CBS Sports Network side. Brent Stover will be with us. John Rothstein, Wally Zerbiak, just Roy Hibbert. Everybody you've seen.
I cannot wait. Rothstein. I cannot wait for him to run down the entire High Point roster.
He was on fire yesterday when I was watching. By the way, since you mentioned Kent Benson, I was looking at his Wikipedia page. How about this? Okay,
it was like 10 minutes ago, bro.
We've moved on. No.
We 100% moved on.
Look, he was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks, and it says 2 minutes into his very first NBA game, Benson elbowed LA Lakers center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the abdomen, and Abdul-Jabbar gave Benson a concussion with a retaliatory punch.
Those are the good old days.
2 minutes in.
2 minutes
into his career.
Oh, they spent the #1 pick on a white man.
Wow.
Bam.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's bam.
2 minutes into the guy's career.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. Anyways, no, I can't wait for Rothstein. Thanks for the interrupting, Bennett. I can't wait to hear John Rothstein know every coach and every player and on every roster.
He really does have a memory like that.
It's bananas.
Like I cannot tell you how many times a former player will come in who hasn't worked with us before. They'll just come in and it'll be Brandon Rush, something like that.
Right.
And Rothstein will be like, "Hey, Brandon, John Rothstein, it's good to see you." And Brandon Rush is like, "Hey, yeah, nice to meet you." And then John will go, "I remember it was the 2006. It was February. You guys were in a road game at Texas Tech, and you were 7 of 11 from the field, and 18 points." And Brandon Rush would be like, I guess that, yeah, sure.
He doesn't remember.
No chance remembers.
No.
John Rothstein will really remember things about players' college careers that they do not remember.
Well, the crazy thing now, honestly, what makes it more impressive is it used to be that there were all of these significant teams and you would have an awareness of all of these players because you would have years to know all of these players and coaches. Mm-hmm. But what I'm finally left with is I go through all of these teams, and so I've just kind of been keeping up with all these teams that are making the tournament. Mm-hmm. So this weekend I watched the Drake thing, D2 Drake, which was an awesome story.
Great.
And then High Point was another one that I watched, which I had an awareness of High Point because this summer, that's where Mike Miller's kid went, Maverick.
Okay.
And he brought in a couple other kids that I met from the High Point team out at the golf course. And so I kind of paid attention to what was going on their season. Anyways, long story short, after High Point punch their ticket this weekend, I go and look, and used to be forever in college basketball that the advantage that a place like a High Point has or a Drake has or whoever these teams, SIUE or all these teams that you're going to see come in, used to be that the advantage that those teams had, Belmont, I remember, a College of Charleston, it's like they have gotten these kids who are not five-star kids, but these kids have played together, and now they're veterans. They're 4-year guys, so they're older than you. They've played 120 games together or more in many cases. So they've got this camaraderie, they've got this chemistry, they've got so many games under their belt, they've been in all manner of situations, like that's their advantage against you. So I'm like, let me go try to find some of those teams. And then I'm just saying, and this is not going to be across the board, but I bet it's going to be close. So I go to High Point. I'm like, all right, let's see what they got going. Bruh. Mississippi State, Kansas, Xavier, like their whole lineup is just guys that weren't playing at awesome schools.
That's the way. So it's just like this. It's back and forth. They're in every recruiting class at the high major level. Let's say you have 5-6 guys, right?
Yep.
3 of those guys aren't going to work out, and they're going to transfer down.
Yep.
And then down here at the low major level, you're going to get 6 guys, and 3 of those guys are going to be awesome, and they're going to move up. And it's just a constant elevator. You're going up and down, up and down.
And what I'm saying is, I think that, like, you know, I remember there was a few years ago where I can't remember the game. Rosa would probably remember it. There was this game early in the year, and Notre Dame got beat, and this kid had, like, 200 and something yards rushing, whatever. I remember I had Dan Wetzel on, and Dan Wetzel, who covers all of these games, whatever, he was like, that kid was like a 5-star kid that was at Florida State or something. I was like, wait, what? And it was some small school, and it was this terrible upset that they had pulled off or whatever, and the kid had run for 1,000,000 yards. And that was the first time that I remember, like, hey, man, I'm going to have to pay attention to where these kids are from, because the way we view, and I think obviously Drake, with having their whole Division II team pull off what they did, going 30-3, they've turned that all on its head. But when I see somebody like High Point, it would always be like, yeah, they might be the less talented, less athletic team, but they've got this is their advantage. Whereas now, somebody's going to pull off something like that, and you're going to be like, bro, that kid was at Kansas.
That's right. Right.
Like, you would never expect a Kansas, the way we view a Kansas player.
Right.
That player is not playing at High Point, right? Or a Mississippi State player. That player, it seems right if they're playing at Mississippi State or at their Kansas. But somebody's going to do this. It's for sure going to happen. You saw it. I mean, we've seen it happen every year, right? Where there's going to be, Dalton Connect can be somewhere, or Jalen Pickett could have been somewhere, once upon a time. P.J. Haggerty, for that matter, who would be a complete unknown, probably nationally, if he would have stayed where he was.
No question.
Right? And yet, what we're going to find, maybe Dane Danger for that matter, even though I know he had a lot of fans at Illinois, but I feel like that's what we're going to see, not only in this conference tournament and what we're already seeing, but also when we get to the NCAA tournament, is there's going to be some kid that goes off, or multiple kids that go off, make a name for themselves at these small schools, and I'm going to go look it up, and it's going to turn out like, bro, this ain't a small school player.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is a big school player that just happens to now be at a small school so he can start.
Yeah, that's the way it works now. And what small schools are trying to do, most of the small schools are trying to just get enough NIL to keep their guys, so you don't lose Dalton Connect to Tennessee, but good luck. But they're like, all right, I'm never going to be able to pay $200,000 per player, but what if I can get a pot of $300,000? I spend $150 on one dude,
right?
And we just we're not going to lose our first team all conference guy,
right?
Over money. It's difficult, but to your point, there's not as much continuity anywhere anymore.
Well, now you're going to see, say Bonaventure when Woj gets that thing going, Davidson when Curry gets that thing going, and you're just going to see it. Great players spaced out everywhere.
That's right. Yeah, you're already seeing it.
Oddly enough, we thought there was going to be a consolidation of power, and it's gone the complete opposite way. Oddly, this has caused infinitely more parity than there being 5 schools with all the best players, and of course they're going to be there in the end.
And the people who thought, well, then it's just going to the rich get richer. It was never going to be that because A.J. DeBanza, perfect example.
Yeah.
5 years ago, he's coming out of high school. Do you know where he's going?
Kentucky
or Duke. It's not even. We're not even talking.
We're not even.
It's
talking.
just. It's either Krzyzewski or Calipari. Let's see who gets him.
Right.
That's it. Nobody else is involved. Maybe UConn or whatever.
Well, you were talking about Flag going number 1. 2 and 3
are at
could
Rutgers.
be from Rutgers.
5 years ago, those guys are at Duke or Kentucky or Kansas. There's only a handful of schools they even look at.
Bro, I could name 100. 5 years ago, I could have named 200 schools before Rutgers.
That's right. But now, if you
before Rutgers,
all it takes now, literally anywhere, is for somebody to say this matters to me, and I'm going to throw money at it. How did BYU get the number 1 high school player in America?
Right.
They have a billionaire threw $7 million at it. How has Rick Pitino just won the Big East? Rick Pitino's amazing. He has a billionaire who bought the whole team for him.
Yeah.
This is the way it works now. And St. John's decided it wants to be a major player, so they paid Rick Pitino and then threw NIL at it, and now it is. Yeah. BYU decided we want to go get the best player in the country. They can. Yeah. Rutgers, we want to go get 2 of the best 3. They did. 5 years ago, all those guys are just Duke Kentucky stuff. It's opened up. It's opened up. No question. Let's talk Grizzlies. Trying to extend a 3-game winning streak to 4 tonight. The 50-loss Jazz are in town. I love that we can call 12 as often as we do any answers, but we should not have to call tonight.
You'd hope not, but I mean, this Jazz team, this is one of those that, like, there's a bunch of rat teams that have come into town that when you watch them, you're like, I leave the arena, I'm like, what is the point of this? Like, the same way I did during tanking Grizzlies years. Right. Where I'm like, you know, you see like somebody like the Wizards, and I remember when they left here last year, I said, we're watching in like the second quarter, and I turned to Roser and I said, you know, if you walked over to that team right now and you said, you know what, you don't have to come back out for halftime, right. This is a loss, and in fact, you don't have to play the rest of the season. We're just going to give you a loss on every game on the schedule the rest of the way. I said, there ain't a player or a coach in that organization that wouldn't just take that deal. It's like they're having to do this and go out there and get their ass kicked every night. And they don't even, like, it's just like an AAU team. They just throw the ball around. Whoever's got the ball shoots it, whatever. That is not true of the Jazz. Like, every once in a while, this is true of what the Grizzlies pulled off last year. It's like, okay, we're going to play a group of guys that's not going to win. But you have to run the offense, you have to run the plays, you have to play defense, and you have to compete. It's not going to be good enough, right? But you have to. And so I always respect those teams that it's like, hey, and that is the Jazz. If you watch them, Will Hardy is going to be coaching like he cares. Like, there's a lot of the teams that come in, and then by third quarter, their coach is just sitting on the bench, and it's like, you know, the one that was disgusting to me this past year, Charlotte, it was the worst. Who I saw in preseason, and I was like kind of warming up to this Charles Lee thing, but he didn't even make them do. They were just doing whatever the hell they wanted in that game, and I'm like, what is the point of this? Like, I really feel like it makes everybody actively worse if you don't hold them accountable. If you don't make them defend, if you don't make them run plays, if you don't make them do anything, then it's like, so there's levels to this, and the Jazz are obviously a tanking team, but when you watch them, they will play you. And if you dick around, like, dude, they were tied with the Celtics 2 nights ago, like with like a few minutes left. And I'm like, would this be the craziest loss, right? Like, if because of course the Celtics are coming off that Lakers win over the weekend and the whole thing. But like, I do respect them. I do respect them. They've got, and it's not like they have a bunch of crappy players. It's just a bunch of, you know, they put out lesser lineups, but he does make them play. Like, so I would love to think that you could just run them out, but I actually think that this team has shown that they, like, will compete with you and make you beat them. Whereas a lot of these teams, they don't even make you beat them. They're just going through the motions. And so hopefully we don't have to call it 12 at the very end. Right. But, I mean, I think I'd be surprised if you just beat the hell out of them.
I mentioned earlier in the week, I think sometimes we read too much into body language with basketball players and just humans. Yeah. Just like, you know, people will see me sometimes walking around and be like, oh, I wonder what's wrong with him. Yeah. It's like nothing. I'm just like busy and focused and whatever. But I think it's noticeable. Ja seems a little. Yes. It just feels. No question. It looks a little different.
I think he probably, you know, engaged in the wonders of pain medication on one hand. Yes. And I think he also is getting to play a lot more of Ja Morant basketball. Right. You know, there was even a very good video by my buddy Kevin O'Connor and Steve Jones Jr., who has a Grizzlies connection, no less. And one of the things they chronicle is how many pick and rolls that Ja Morant was running, you know, a year ago or the first 4 years of his career, 5 years of his career. And it was like 38, 39. Like, these numbers were high, right? At one point this season, it was down below 15, right? And now it's ticked up a ton. And it's one of the things that we've talked about throughout the year, which is how do you know, you installed a new offense, which is obviously had success. It's second in the league in points per game. It has made your group better. It has also given you the opportunity to be able to get a lot of wins in the absence of Ja Morant. But there's a yin and yang of doing what's best for Ja Morant to get the max out of him, which is certainly most important as we head towards the playoffs, and also being able to get the group to be simultaneously good. And so I think what you're seeing, and Taylor Jenkins, to his credit, has talked about this throughout the year, about, you know, getting back to, you know, getting Ja going and installing more, because, that was the big thing. It's like, oh, look at the offense with no screens, whatever. Well, the offense with no screens ends up with John Morant standing next to Mikal Bridges in the corner as a decoy, because now Mikal Bridges is out of the mix, because now they have taken the Dyson Daniels of the world, the Mikal Bridges of the world, the Lou Dorts of the world, and I get no relief because nobody gets me the switch onto the Trae Young that I want. No one gets me the switch onto Jalen Brunson that I want. Nobody gets, we're not playing the matchups here, right? It is a benefit to the greater good, but for John Morant to be great, right? You can't just have him being enveloped by Mikal Bridges and his 9-foot wingspan the entire game, right? Unless he gets on a break or he gets out or he gets a mismatch or something like that. And so I think there was a ton of frustration in that it wasn't the best it's not the best offense to accentuate his talents. They're doing a lot more. If you go back and watch even last game, and there's more screens set now for him than we have had all season. And this is an offense that wasn't setting screens. Right. And so I think that was the balancing act that they knew they were going to have to figure out, and especially when it comes to playoffs and the stuff slows down. And so I think you're seeing a totally re-engaged, because I think we got to a breaking point where the frustration was boiling over for him, right? And then you have seen now him being much more engaged, the usage rate getting higher, the screens being set being greater, and you can just see it. And the team feeds off that. They know he has to be able to be great, right? Has to.
Last thing before I get you out of here, Cleveland last night won for the 15th straight time. They now have 2 15-game winning streaks in the season. They're 55-10, best record in the NBA. Every time I turn on a podcast or turn on a television, somebody is saying, yeah, Cleveland is amazing. I'm still taking Boston. Cleveland's great. All right. I'm taking Boston. It's an 8-game lead between the two, and that doesn't mean, just to be clear, that means you got to take Cleveland. But are we just going to keep doubting them until they're holding the trophy at the end?
I think we're going to keep doubting them until they win, until they're in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston. And then, or if that's the team that they're going to face, whether it's Boston, whether it's New York, whether it's Milwaukee, whoever it could be. But let's just assume it's going to be Boston, okay? At that point, then everybody will recalibrate. Right. But there's always a proving, right? You got to get there. Nobody's sitting there. You got to remember, I get it. They're a lot better this year, right? A lot better. Infinitely better last year. But they beat Orlando last year, and then they got walloped in the second round. Right. And so teams you always have to prove yourself. Nobody's going to believe in you until you prove yourself. So I think if they could get to Eastern Conference Finals, then things are going to, and honestly, we'll see the way it all plays out, but I mean, there's a very reasonable chance that our second round matchups are Cleveland and Milwaukee, and then the Knicks and the Celtics. If that is so, everybody will believe in them if they beat the Bucks. Right. But until that point, everybody's. I mean, and this happens. There's great regular season teams all the time. Atkinson's actually a Budenholzer guy. Once upon a time, there was a 60-something win Atlanta Hawks team. Right. Nobody believed in. Right. And then they didn't do it, right? Oklahoma City was the number 1 seed last year. Right. They lost in the second round, to Dallas after beating New Orleans, no less. And so I think with any of these teams, Utah was the number 1 seed a couple of years ago. Got knocked out, right, by Dallas. And so I think until you do it, until you prove, until we see you in an Eastern Conference Finals, and even then, we can sometimes poke holes in why you got there. People poked holes years ago in the Grizzlies getting to the West Finals. People will poke holes in last year the Pacers getting to the East Finals, right? People don't believe in the Pacers like you normally would a team that was in the Final Four last year. But, I think that Cleveland's going to have to mash their first-round opponent and then beat that 4-5 winner, and then everybody can make their decision of whether or not they believe in them then.
That is Chris Vernon. He'll be in the big studio at noon. Chris Vernon's show here on Grind City Media, and then he'll be making his Channel 5 debut tonight.
Oh, God.
Channel 5 debut tonight for Chris Vernon. Grizzlies and Jazz tipping off a little after 7 o'clock. Cleveland, 15-game winning streak. Darius Garland last night had a team-high 30 points. Funny story about him. So, Peach Jam, a million years ago. The way it used to work is, the older kids, the 17 and unders, would play in the morning, like maybe a 9 o'clock game and then a 10:30 game and then a noon game. And then when that's over, the older kids wouldn't come back until nighttime, so 6 o'clock at night, and you'd have 3 more rounds of games. And in the middle is when the younger kids would play, like the 16 and unders, 15 and unders.
Okay.
So I just remember one random, let's just call it a Friday, I'm at Peach Jam, and I happened to be sitting with Jeff Capel, who's now the head coach at Pitt, but at the time was an assistant at Duke. And he was watching somebody play. I don't even know who it was, but it was like somebody like Marvin Bagley or something like that. And I just happened to be sitting with him, and we're talking. And normally, this game's over, the gym clears out. This is when all the coaches and media and basically everybody says, all right, now it's time to go get lunch or go get a nap or go get a run in or whatever. But we're not going to sit around and watch the young kids too often. We'll come back for the older kids tonight. A few coaches stay, but not many. So we're just sitting there and we're talking, and the conversation continues to where we don't immediately get up because we're still in the middle of a conversation talking about whatever we're talking about. And so I'm just sort of talking, and there's this game of young, younger players happening in front of me. I don't know the teams. I don't know the players, nothing. But I'm talking to Capel, and these teams are going up and down the court. And we're sort of half watching, half talking. And at some point, I'm like, who is this kid? My God. Who is this? This dude is different. And he's like, oh, that's Darius Garland. He's from Nashville. And I said, how old is he? He's like, he's 15, but he's like one of the best 15-year-olds in the country. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I can see it. I can see that. Well, now here he is. It's just a reminder, the ones who are different, you can see it.
You notice it early.
Oh, man, and you don't even have to really be paying attention. It's just, I'm sitting there watching a basketball game. There's 10 people on a court. I don't know any of them. I don't know where they're from. And it was just like, this one dude is different. At 15, it was just like, he's just quicker than everybody else and moving differently than everybody else. In the NBA. When we come back, Rich Rodriguez is back, second tenure as head coach at West Virginia. Had a press conference yesterday, said he's banning his players from dancing on TikTok. Not banning them from TikTok, just dancing on TikTok. Well, buddy, if you ever want to sound real, the way to do it. We'll play the audio for you next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
FBK, fly by King. Wheels through the lane, now spins back. Ja hangs, puts it in! Oh, what a shot by Morant in the clutch. So hot. Oh, Jaren said no! Because he doesn't put on a play, comes up with a monster block.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Rich Rodriguez, the West Virginia coach, went viral yesterday because of comments in a press conference about TikTok. He says he doesn't like his players dancing on TikTok. He doesn't mind them being on TikTok. I mean, he does mind them, but he's not going to draw the line there. But he's a football coach, and football coaches sometimes have rules, and his rule is that you will not be a West Virginia Mountaineer dancing on TikTok. Let's listen to this old man talk.
They're going to be on it, so it's not. I'm not banning them from. I just banning them from dancing on it. You know, it's like, don't look. We try to have a hard edge, whatever, and you're in there, you know, in your tights, you know, dancing on TikTok. Ain't quite the image of our program that I want. If I'm allowed to do that, I guess I can have rules now. When they, like I said, 20 years from now, they want to be sitting in their pajamas in the basement, eating Cheetos and watching TikTok or whatever the hell, they can go at it. Smoking cannabis, whatever. I mean, knock yourself out. But, you know, the hope or focus can be on winning football games. You know, how about let's win the football game and not worry about winning the TikTok.
Oh, I think you could do both. I think you can win football games and win the TikTok.
I think so, too, yeah.
Oh, buddy. You ever want to sound 61 or 81, that's the way to do it. I say this as a fellow old man. I don't want it to get it twisted up. I know I'm old, all right? I say this as a fellow old man. If you ever want to sound your age as a fellow old man, find something that young people are interested in and talk shit on it.
Yeah.
That's the best way. Your parents, if you are an old person now, guess what? One time your parents did it about Pearl Jam and about Nirvana. They thought that was just loud junk.
Yeah.
And you thought it was the best thing ever, and they thought it was loud junk, and they don't make good music anymore. And it's just a forever cycle. When you're 15, you think whatever's happening in the world when you're 15 is the coolest stuff in the world. And when you're 45, 55, you get to a point where you go, everything 15-year-olds like is the dumbest stuff in the world. This is the cycle of life.
Yeah, he lost me.
I am committed to not being a part of that. I am going to forever listen to new music. I am going to forever look at young people and give them the benefit of the doubt and just trust that even if I don't have any interest at my age of putting on, as Rich Rodriguez might say, tights and dancing on TikTok, I recognize
tights.
That
was weird.
Oh, that sounds like a man who's definitely used a gay slur.
Someone's out of touch. Also, smoking cannabis. No one said that since 1960, bro.
Oh, and by the way,
no one's used the word cannabis since the 60s.
And like, don't try to scare me. Don't try to scare me by saying, where do you want to end up? Sitting in a dark room eating Cheetos and smoking cannabis and watching TikTok?
That is exactly where I want to end up.
That is exactly where I want to end up. What are you talking about? That is what I look forward to.
That's funny.
Like, what are you talking about, man? You just described a perfect Saturday night. What are you doing?
That does sound like a good time.
Just here's my advice to all old people like me and Rich Rodriguez. Just shut up about it.
Yeah.
All right? It ain't for you. Don't turn on the MTV Video Music Awards and then tweet, I don't even know any of these people. Because it's the same stupid shit your parents did when you were 15 years old. They turned on the VMAs when they were your age and you were 15. And, you know, you said, oh, my God, Mom and Dad, look at this. This is amazing. And you know what they said? Well, I don't even know what this is. What is this junk? They don't make good music anymore. And now you do it to your kids. And now Rich Rodriguez is doing it to his whole football team. I'm not going to do it. I'm team dancing on TikTok. and smoking cannabis and eating Cheetos in dark rooms and watching TikTok. I'm for all that stuff. I want people to do what they want to do, and I'm not going to be the old guy telling them that TikTok's stupid. I won't pretend to understand it. Why? Like my little guy was showing me this viral trend that people are recreating. Like there's a scene from a movie. It's like a football scene, and people are recreating it on TikTok. And he spent 15 minutes showing me that last night. And I loved that he was so interested in that he wanted to share it with his father. But you want me to tell you the truth? I have no idea why this was interesting to him or why it's interesting to anybody. It's not funny. It didn't make me laugh. It didn't seem that creative. I didn't get it at all. But he did. And that's fine. I just said, that's awesome, bud. And then I got back to doing what I was doing. I didn't say, why are you watching this stupid TikTok? You're going to end up smoking weed and eating Cheetos in a basement. I just said, that's cute, Lou. Appreciate you showing me that. Yeah. If you find some new ones, bring them over here too, right? That's the way to handle that, I think. I don't think Rich Rodriguez knows what he's doing. But I wish him luck.
Number 2.
Tiger Woods had Achilles surgery. My God. Who has more surgeries than Tiger Woods?
Yikes.
Answer's nobody.
How did he tear his Achilles?
Just living.
Yeah.
Just living his life. Said he felt it. He's ramping up, and he felt it, and had a minimally invasive surgery, but it's Achilles surgery on a man my age. You know, This is not good. Here's the truth. And so, of course, then the second paragraph of the news story is going to be, and this means he will not play in the Masters. So we're not going to have Tiger Woods,
of course,
next month at the Masters. And that's a bummer because we still love Tiger Woods. There's that meme that went around at some point. It was like some woman or man, I don't know. You'll get the point. And they ask a question like, what is it that men really want in life? Have you seen this? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've seen it, yep.
And the question is just like, it's this open-ended question like, what is it that men really want in life? And somebody quote tweeted it and said, what men really want in life is for Tiger Woods to win another major.
Yes.
And it's true. Like we live, this actually ties back to exactly what I was talking about. We grew up watching that guy be awesome. And it's the same reason we all sat around and watched Mike Tyson on Netflix a few weeks, whenever that was. Because this was part of growing up, and we witnessed greatness, and we just you never not want to witness it again. You want to always believe it's going to be there, even if, practically speaking, you know it won't be. But you just want it to be there as long as it can be there. Here's the truth in life with stuff like this. You just got to find something else. We have to stop wanting Tiger Woods to be a golfer we watch on TV again, because we will see him swing a golf club on TV again. I'm assuming, but it's just like we can't keep wanting for that. You got to want for new things.
Yeah,
you got to find new things to want instead of always yearning for Tiger Woods. Just wrap your arms around Scotty Scheffler and say this is going to be the thing that we look forward to. This happens in music all the time. Like there's a right now we live in a world where millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people, I couldn't even put a number on it, sit around waiting for Taylor Swift releases, right? Like they're waiting for the next Taylor Swift album. Can't wait for it to come out. Can't wait for the next tour. Can't wait to do all that again. Sit with it, dissect it, all of it. One day you won't be able to do that. You know that, right? You won't be able to do that one day. There was a time where people sat around, millions and millions, I couldn't even put a number on it. It was like, you wait on a Kanye West album. Here's 808s. Here's Dark Fantasy. Now he's doing the Watch the Throne album. Here's Yeezus. You never know what it's going to sound like, what to expect. You look forward to these things.
Yep.
And you look forward to the tours. Buddy, you better find something else to look forward to because you don't get to do that anymore. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm not interested in it anymore. Find something else. Okay, now you look forward to Kendrick albums instead of Kanye albums. You got to find something else to look forward to in life. We've reached the point. We probably passed the point with Tiger Woods. There's nothing seriously in sports I would rather witness other than, let's say, a Mets World Series and a Grizzlies NBA title than Tiger Woods winning another major. It would be awesome. I feel just like every other man my age. But we got to stop putting any sort of real feeling in that.
Right.
And just let him be what he is, which is the greatest golfer of all time, but someone whose body has been through the ringer and probably will never allow him to be a relevant golfer in any of the ways we want him to be, probably for the rest of his life.
Number 3.
Shohei Ohtani will soon become the first Major League Baseball player ever to do this thing. I learned this last night.
Okay, Shohei Ohtani will become the first Major League Baseball player ever to do what? Open the season as the starting pitcher. Well, that's not gonna be that, but that's not gonna be it.
Nope.
I have no idea.
He will be the first Major League Baseball player. My middle guy, Oliver, called me in the room last night. He said, "Dad, look at this." I think it was a way for him to get my credit card. Shohei Ohtani will, on March 17th, become the first Major League Baseball player to ever be in Fortnite.
Oh.
And I think you guys are probably too young for that. You guys are probably too young for that. But I'm just telling you, this is the biggest deal in the world to young people. This opens you. There are so many young people who
Travis Scott.
Yeah,
Look at Travis Scott.
Dude.
He's like one of the biggest stars in the world. He's talented, but Fortnite was part of it.
Fortnite was definitely a part of it.
Yeah, right.
This just opens you up to a world of young people that there are people who will never watch Shohei Ohtani play baseball for a second. But on March 17th, they will be very aware of him.
Mm-hmm.
This will take his stardom to another level. You'll have 8-year-olds all over the world who don't know anything about baseball, but they're going to know Shohei Ohtani, and it will be because of Fortnite.
That's pretty cool. I'm unfamiliar with Fortnite. We're not there yet.
Oh, we are there.
Are y'all in Fortnite?
Oh,
Y'all are in
man,
Fortnite?
I spent a third of my salary probably on V-Bucks.
What do you buy?
Skins.
Oh, okay.
Battle passes.
Okay, I'm looking to see what NBA players.
My kids spend more money on their clothes for their Fortnite characters than I spend on actual clothes for me.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's a wild situation. Them V-Bucks, man, they don't grow on trees. I wish they did.
I can't tell what NBA players are in Fortnite. I'm trying to look.
I believe LeBron is.
That makes sense, obviously.
But yeah. Shohei Ohtani, he's coming to Fortnite. All the kids will be going wild about it. I'm certain.
It's pretty cool.
Number 4.
We really get going with college basketball today. We were talking to Vernon. He was like, "Why are you even here on a Wednesday?" It's because my schedule is different because of championship week and the NCAA tournament starting next week. But I'll be in the studio Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, flying up to New York today. This is where we really get going. You got basketball on all day long. Big conference tournaments underway. You got a handful of coaches who probably got to win today or else they're going to miss the NCAA tournament. Win and you keep your hopes alive. Lose and you're not going to make it. Listen to this list of coaches.
Okay.
John Calipari at Arkansas, Hubert Davis at North Carolina, Rodney Terry at Texas, Jake Diebler at Ohio State, Porter Moser at Oklahoma. 5 big-time coaches at big-time programs, and they are win or more or less go home situations today. And for Cal at Arkansas, it's like a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
I know, given how they started, 0-5 in the SEC, it's kind of interesting that he's even got them in position to make the NCAA tournament. But don't move the goalpost. I've heard some other people say, well, this is one of John's best coaching jobs because this team was, no. This team was preseason top 20. This team cost $8 million in NIL. He should not be on the bubble. This is one of his worst coaching jobs, if we're being honest. Big picture. It's cool that he got it turned around a little bit, but they play South Carolina today. South Carolina is the worst team in the SEC.
Yep.
The only reason John's the coach at Arkansas is because he got bounced by St. Mary's, got bounced by Oakland. This would be a different version of the same thing. All right, John, you turned it around. You're in position to go to the NCAA tournament. All you got to do is not lose to the worst team in the SEC on a neutral court in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
I'll be tuned into this one for sure.
Be careful. It's a noon tip. Arkansas and South Carolina. Rodney Terry could be coaching for his career at Texas. He didn't win today. There's a good chance there's a coaching change in Austin, let's just say before the end of the week.
Number 5.
Disney has scaled back Snow White Hollywood premiere amid Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot controversies. What's good? Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman.
That's right. She's Wonder Woman.
What's going on here?
Okay, this is insincere. This is an insincere reasoning that they're putting behind this. So that's why I wanted to put this up, because I saw this and it's like cancel culture. Like it's Gal Gadot who's playing the evil queen in the new Disney's doing a live action remake of Snow White.
She's
right?
Israeli.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't want to speak out of turn. I'm not sure. But anyway,
I was wondering, does that have anything to do with the controversy? And you're telling me
she has said things online that were pro-Israel, and Rachel Zegler has said things online that were like free Palestine. I think she posted free Palestine or something like that. And so that's being painted as this controversy, and why they're not letting people like the press. It's because they always, I mean, it's the Disney, when a Disney has a big movie, it's a big premiere at the El Capitan Theater in LA. Like they everybody comes out to it, right? They're not doing that for this movie. And this is what's being pointed to is like the controversy, and that's why they're keeping it. That's not true. It is not true at all. The reason that they're doing this is because this movie sucks, and they know it sucks. Yes, that is what's happening here, okay? This movie has been in production for a long time. It's the live action remake of their, arguably most famous animated movie of all time. It's the first one that put Walt Disney on the map, and they won all the Academy Awards. Snow White, one of the greatest movies ever, okay? This movie is going to be terrible, bro. That is why they're doing this, because they know if they open it to the press and the media that it's going to get killed in the early reviews, and that no one's going to go see it in the movie theater. That is what is happening here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, that's tough to hear.
Yeah.
I always wondered.
I saw that story and I was like, I don't like that this is being painted as like a cancel culture thing, because that's not what this is.
I've always wondered what it must be like to make a movie. You spend years sometimes preparing for this, doing this, completing this, waiting for this, and then it's done, and deep down this is not good, and I got to go out and promote it and try to sell it, but I know it's not good. Like there are times when I have to pre-tape a show, and I tweet the link every time. Like if I'm doing a show live, it's like, hey, here comes the show, and we're live. I don't know what I'm promoting. I mean, I know what I'm trying to do, but like we'll see how the show goes. There are times when I pre-tape a show, and let's say I don't feel great about it, and I go, maybe I shouldn't even tweet the link.
Oh, because I thought it sucked. Yeah, I got you.
I know in advance, like this was not my favorite show. It's done. Nobody has heard it yet, but I did it. I've heard it. It was not my favorite show. And it changes the way I feel about promoting it or talking about it or whatever. I wonder what that's like as an actor or an actress. I've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy making this thing. Now it's my job to go out and sell it, put a smile on, tell you how proud I am of it, but I'm not proud of it. It's not good. That must be tough.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, this just goes stuff that I've said like for a long time on this show. I'm just like, Disney, all these big, studios that are putting out movies that are remakes, the live action version of an animated movie that was popular. I'm tired of it, because it's just, who wants, like, this movie's probably going to bomb at the box office. No one asked for it. They keep doing these live action remakes of these movies. Go back to original ideas. Go back to original ideas. People want that, man.
Bennett has advice for Hollywood. Gal Gadot, Miss Israel in 2004.
Okay, there we go.
She was Miss Israel.
Yeah, I don't buy that. People are like that. The stars have said something controversial. We're boycotting this movie. I don't buy that
Bennett's
at all.
Not buying your nonsense. Bennett thinks you just made a terrible film.
Yeah.
Bennett just thinks you've made a terrible.
Trust me. You watch. Wait till the first reviews come out for that movie.
Okay, Bennett. I'm gonna keep my eye on it.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye on it. We'll be back with GP's Carryout.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. to those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Double your chances to win all month long in March with 2 big promotions. On Fridays, embrace the madness and win a share of $150,000 in cash and free play. On Saturdays, starting March 8th, go for the gold and win your share of up to $10,000 in cash and free play in the 80K Fool's Gold giveaway. Enjoy live entertainment all month long and play for your chance to win big in March only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Bill Ford Tough studio. Let's wrap this thing up. Let's do GP's carryout.
It's time for GP's carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies because Game 66 of a scheduled 82, it's happening tonight in downtown Memphis inside FedEx Forum. The 50-loss Jazz are in town. Bennett, as we've discussed, we appreciate having somebody like John Morant who is always willing to take your call if you need him, you know? Mm-hmm. Not everybody in life is that for everybody else in life. But John Morant will always take our call. That said, I don't think we should be calling him as much as we've been calling him. It gets exhausting. He'll be there every time he'll answer. He'll be like, what's up? You need me again? Sure, I'll be there for you again. He's reliable. Mm-hmm. He's reliable in that way. But I don't think we should be calling him as much as we've been calling him lately, and I especially don't think we should be calling him tonight against the 50-loss Jazz inside FedEx Forum when you're a 12-point favorite. Can you promise me we're not going to call John Morant tonight?
I don't think we'll have to.
Can you promise me we're not going to call 12? When you are favored by 12, you shouldn't have to call 12. Is that fair?
Fair,
When
yes,
you're favored by
fair.
12, you shouldn't have to call 12.
Yeah, I hope this is an easy one.
Yeah, this is more like a...
I don't want to sweat this.
This is more like a call... This is more like a call Jay Huff.
Call Scotty.
This is more like a call Scotty situation.
Yeah, call
right?
Scotty.
Let's see how well Jay Huff's phone works. Mm-hmm. All right? Let's see how well Scottie Pippen's phone works tonight.
I like that plan.
Let's let John Morant put his phone on silent for a night. We'll get back to calling him at some point. But when you were favored by 12, you should not have to call 12. No phone calls tonight. Double-digit lead heading into the fourth. Double-digit lead throughout the fourth. Scottie Pippen and Jay Huff closing this thing out. Can we do that?
God, I hope so.
God, I hope so, too. You can watch it tonight. Action News 5.
What's today's biggest game?
Let's go to the SEC tournament. You want to go to the SEC tournament?
I've been really dialed into these conference tournaments. Really dialed in.
It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. You know, last night I was kind of upset about my St. Mary's pick. It's
the Zags. What are you going to do?
Because they were ranked and they were, I don't know. They'd already beaten them twice. And then the thing about that is when I knew I was in trouble is I was watching y'all's show before the CAA championship, I believe. It was Delaware and UMC Wilmington.
Which was great.
I took Delaware because Kyra, didn't you go to Delaware? I think
not that
Delaware. That's the hate.
Delaware.
The Blue Hens are hated over here.
Not that Delaware.
Okay, my bad. But they lost. And before that game, Rothstein was like, Yeah, Gonzaga's starting to look like Gonzaga again. And I was like, oh, great.
Well,
I'd already picked St. Mary's at that point. So
here we go. The Delaware UNC Wilmington thing, we watched it at the house as well.
It was good.
We were on the grill last night. It was a nice night. Well, on the grill last night, we were watching the CAA title game. And Delaware, Martin Inglesby is their coach. He's a former Notre Dame assistant. He worked for Mike Bray.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And, Mike Bray, the longtime Notre Dame coach.
Yes.
And so Mike was there last night supporting Martin. Takeo Siddle is the Wilmington coach. He used to work for Kevin Keats at Wilmington, but then at NC State. So Kevin Keats was there supporting his former assistant. So you had all that neat stuff. By the way, Mike Bray now an assistant with the Atlanta Hawks.
Right. That's right. I saw him earlier this year.
Okay, like he was here a couple weeks ago or whatever.
Yep.
So I get a text message in the middle of the day. Like I think I was in New York. And I get a text message in the middle of the day and he's like, what is going on here? And he's like taking pictures of billboards and stuff around FedEx Forum.
Yeah.
He's like, what is happening here? Why am I seeing your face everywhere? I said, this is the way it works inside FedEx Forum. Mike, it's good to hear from him. So it was a nice scene last night. Wilmington wins it. Takeo Siddle taking Wilmington to the NCAA tournament for the first time in his head coaching career. Just those types of stories are always awesome.
Dude, I love this week, leading up to, I love the whole thing leading up to Selection Sunday, especially these smaller leagues, because again, this is your shot. These title games are fun because it's just two teams, and this is your only shot at the NCAA tournament. These are for the most part, always one bid leagues, and so it's kind of fun when you get into a CAA tournament and you get a Delaware team that was terrible all season, but all of a sudden they catch fire in this tournament and get to the championship game. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun watch.
Yeah, no, these and we'll get another one tonight.
Yep.
It's the Patriot League final. It is.
I had no idea Navy was in the Patriot League.
Navy and American. Goofy little story. So, a few years ago, remember when I busted my head up?
Yes, okay. I do remember.
I was battling. I was losing a battle at the time with obstructive sleep apnea. I got 14 stitches right here, and had to be.
Never forget when you walked to the studio. I was like, "Whoa!"
I was losing a battle. I have subsequently succeeded in my battle against obstructive sleep apnea.
Good.
But at the time I was losing it. And I genuinely woke up in the middle of the night choking obstructive sleep apnea and fell over, and I 14 stitches. It was ugly and scary. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could have lost the eye if it was an inch low,
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember
it's sort of scary. So, got that addressed. Anyway, I was on the Veterans Classic sideline, and I told my bosses, I was like, look, this is what I look like.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I'm happy to do it, but is this what you want on TV? This is the place that employs Jenny Dell. Mm-hmm. Is this what you want people looking at? All right. They said, yeah, go do it.
Okay.
Nobody expected you to be pretty anyway. Go do your stupid job.
Yeah.
Understood. So I fly up to Annapolis, and the night before the game, it's one of those deals. Fly up, and I'm just there in the hotel by myself, and I'm like, I'll go go to the little restaurant down here and get something to eat in the hotel lobby, hotel bar, whatever. And I get seated at a table, and I guess I had something like either a hoodie, CBS. There was maybe it was this. I might have just had my computer out, and it was this.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been this. And anyway, this young couple next to me, I guess whatever, and around my age,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, oh, you work for CBS? I said, I do. They said, what do you do? We have that conversation. And then we talk about my eye, and we have that whole conversation. I'm like, so what's your story? And they said, oh, our son is, I think at the time, a freshman at Navy.
Okay.
We're from Texas. I remember the Woodlands, Texas. And so he's here, and we're just really excited. This is maybe the first game of the year, maybe, or certainly early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's great, man. I've been here many times and been on this campus. I'm just going to assume, based on everybody else I've met who is enrolled here, that your son is an amazing young person, and I look forward to meeting him. And then that conversation's over, and you go back to doing whatever you're doing. Probably feeling bad about your stitches. Anyway, that young man's name is Austin Benini.
Okay.
He's now averaging 18 points per game. He's the leading scorer at Navy.
That's cool.
And he will be on display tonight one win away from taking Navy to the NCAA tournament.
I'm rooting for them, man.
Perhaps they're the shortest team in Division I.
I figured because you've mentioned about these service academies and they don't have NIL, right? Like
They have no NIL.
No NIL.
Also,
yeah.
these are people who are training to be pilots.
Right.
You don't want somebody 7'2" in a plane.
Oh, that's a good point.
There's
You're not recruiting big people to the Navy. That's right. That's crazy.
It's an interesting. They're the shortest team in Division I. Average height 6'2". So if you are if you're a short king, this is your team. If you're a short king, you ride with the midshipmen.
I'm rooting for them.
I am too.
When's the last time Navy was in the NCAA tournament?
It probably involved David Robinson or something like that, right? So, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. But either way, fun game tonight. These one-bid leagues are always fun. I did mention SEC tournament.
Yes,
I'm taking it. How about John Calipari and the Arkansas Razorbacks against South Carolina? Noon, SEC Network. Most people believe Arkansas has to win this game, or else Arkansas will miss the NCAA tournament in year one under John Calipari. The Razorbacks are 4.5-point favorites. How are you going to act?
Yeah, I like that. Give me that. I'll take Arkansas minus 4.5. Yeah.
Bennett Doyle lived through many a successful John Calipari coach basketball game as a student at the University of Memphis. He expects to watch another one today as a consumer of Arkansas Razorback basketball. Tip is at noon. Bennett says take the Razorbacks minus 4.5.
What are we watching on TV?
Can I interest you in chaos? Chaos?
Possibly. I like chaos sometimes.
I do too.
What's going on?
The Manson Murders. New movie, documentary on Netflix. It's in the top 10 Netflix right now. 65% approval, according to Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think? How interested are you in the Manson Murders?
I'm pretty interested.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild that you could just talk people into killing people, you know?
Wild.
I wish I could do that.
Well, I'm fascinated, like, that whole thing.
I can't even talk Memphis into joining a new Pac-12.
Like, all right.
This dude was out there telling people, go kill some people, and they were like, cool, we'll do it.
Crazy that he was kind of mingling in around famous people at the time and stuff, you know, like famously, was it Brian? It wasn't Brian Wilson. It was one of the Beach Boys that he you know hung out with on a beach or something.
Brian Windhorst.
No, I don't think it was Brian Windhorst.
No, it was. Charles Manson used to hang out with Brian Windhorst.
I don't think they were alive at the same time.
No, people don't know that, but I heard that story.
I don't think that's true.
I heard that. Brian Windhorst and Charles Manson used to be buddies. I heard that.
I don't think that's true. No, I'm interested. 65%. That because it's good content, right? So that tells me this might not be well done. I'm just gonna be honest.
All right, but let me give this to you.
Yeah.
Let me see if this moves the needle.
Okay.
Hour 36 minutes. You can get it knocked out pretty quickly.
That's true. That's
I like
true.
that. That's good for a flight.
Why is it called chaos?
You don't think it's chaotic?
Yeah, but why don't you just call it the Charles Manson documentary or something like that?
Because there's probably already something called the Charles Manson documentary.
That's fair enough. We have like 5,000
And I think there's probably already a Helter Skelter or
That's
7.
Probably true.
So we had to go with chaos. You can find it right now.
Okay.
Netflix.com.
What's the best thing we've read?
I don't know if it's the best. In fact, I'm certain it's not. But Top 25 and 1 updated again. Oh, we're almost done for the season. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. I wrote about Gonzaga. You mentioned they won the WCC tournament title game last night. I'm glad that I have this history. I don't even know that most Memphians who were in the building realize that they watched what was more or less the launch of Gonzaga basketball. But it happened here.
Was that the Adam Morrison?
No.
Before that.
No.
Yeah.
No, I looked it up last night just so, because I've told this story a billion times, and I was like, you know what? I should look it up to make sure I'm right.
Yeah.
I should I should just rely on my memory from, a million years ago. November 1998.
Okay.
Tick Price is the coach. Memphis is the team.
Oh, yeah, because they had gone to the Final Four before Adam Morrison.
No.
I believe. No, they hadn't yet.
No. They didn't go to the Final Four until not too long ago.
They had been in the tournament.
They had been. Yeah. They had done stuff before Adam Morrison.
Right. Yeah.
But in November 1998, Gonzaga was a small school in a small conference that had never won a game in the NCAA tournament. They came in to play Memphis at the Pyramid.
Yep.
And I remember sitting there courtside as a senior in college, representing the Daily Helmsman, and Gonzaga just beat the shit out of them by 15 points. And it was like, what? Who
was this? We're Memphis.
What is going on? Yeah. Who is this? Gonzaga. Where are they? Spokane. What? In what league? West Coast. What? What is this? 4 months later, they beat Minnesota in the round of 64 to advance to the round of 32 to win their first NCAA tournament game in history. After that, they beat Stanford to go to the Sweet 16. After that, they beat Florida to go to the Elite Eight. When that tournament started,
that's what I'm thinking of, Elite Eight.
Gonzaga had never won an NCAA tournament game. When I watched Gonzaga in the pyramid, they had never won an NCAA tournament game. They beat Memphis, went to the tournament, went to the Elite Eight. You ready for this? They have never missed the NCAA tournament since then, not once. They've been to 26 straight NCAA tournaments now.
That is insane, actually.
I sat there as a college student. They had never won a tournament game. They won 3 that year, and they've never missed the tournament since. They played in 2 national championship games. This is the equivalent of it's even more dramatic than this, but think about this. If East Carolina went to the NCAA tournament this year, you've known East Carolina forever. Mm-hmm. If they went to the NCAA tournament this year and then went to the Elite Eight and then made 25 straight NCAA tournaments going forward and played in 2 national championship games, it's unimaginable.
Yeah, especially considering the league that they're in, where you max only getting 2 bids every year.
It's an incredible story that will never be replicated. You can read about that CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Thursday, so we'll look back at what I'm certain will be a double-digit victory over the 50-loss Jazz. They'll be the 51-loss Jazz this time tomorrow.
I would hope so.
Mike Wallace will join me. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. Let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.